Morning, Chuck Bradley here. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about fear. I'm learning a lot about fear these days as a result of studying my textbook. And one of the things that it teaches me is that we are driven by hundreds of forms of fear. And the more I learn to look at my life honestly and openly, and the more I talk about this thing with other people, the more I'm beginning to see those fears. The more I'm beginning to see how the world and its people dominated me um, by way of fear. Now, I'm not talking about the fear of somebody big and bad and what somebody might do to me. I'm talking about the kind of fear of I won't fit in, or um, the fear that uh, people won't like me. These type of fears, and they run my life. Um, and I found out that fear is an evil and corroding thread. Our book talks about it being classed. It should be classed with stealing because it causes just as much trouble. I heard an old timer say one time that fear was a place where negatives grow, and I can identify with that because the majority of my life that has been run by fear, any negative decision or action was based and rooted in some type of fear. I didn't know that until I started studying and learning how to do inventory and learning how to get honest, mainly with me. Now, when you talk about recovery or being recovered, it's all about the displacement and rearrangement of ideas, attitudes, and emotions. The things that have been guiding my life for the majority of my life can no longer be running my life. And then I hear people talk about how they have good fears. Well, not for me. Now, there's a thing called prudence. And prudence is like a caution or to be careful in regards to rational matters. You know, like don't get too close to the edge of that cliff because you might fall off. You know, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about those other fears that when you really look at them, you probably shouldn't even have had the fear in the first time. Or I probably shouldn't have had the fear in the first place. So today, how I address my fears is first and foremost, I have to acknowledge it. Because you can't address something that you don't act like is there. And then secondly, today I'm trying to grow in faith. Today I'm trying to build a closer relationship with God, which is what our process is all about. You got to remember the main object is to enable us to find a power greater than ourselves that can solve our problem. And that power for me is God. So today, when fears crop up, and believe me, they crop up on a daily basis in some form. For me, it's a matter of acknowledging God's will being done as opposed to mine. And it doesn't matter if I acknowledge it or not, because it's still going to be done. Thy will, not my will, be done. And the killing part about it is that's something that I asked for already. Now, it's easy to say thy will be done when thy will is aligned with mine. But what about if it's not? Can I still be okay with thy will be done? And sometimes it takes work, but it's something that I believe that I have to do. So yeah, fear still crops up in my life on the regular, but it doesn't run my life. And when it does, most of the time, but not all the time, I can turn to my God. See, that's the new guiding force in my life. That and the fact that I want to live a better life. I want to be a better person. So I thank God for this process that I'm in. And I thank God for the other people that are in this process that are trying to grow like I'm trying to grow. Along emotional lines, mental lines, and spiritual lines. And when I trust my God, I can be alright. When I trust my God and continue to build on that relationship, I don't have to run around here being afraid. Life is going to be life, and problems and circumstances will arise. But I have faith today. Thanks for listening.